Welcome to RCS. I'm Dan.
And I'm Nick.
How's it going, man?
It's good.
Yeah?
It's just us.
It's
been a while. It's been a hectic while.
Yeah.
But we figured it was time to do a Nick and Dan podcast from the couch.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff, but we're still brought to you by Drivers Club, Avants, Carter Subaru, Haggerty, and Rainier Beer.
Yeah.
We're just not a Drivers Club today.
No. Oh God, it was so nice today.
I know.
You went mattress shopping.
I did.
Was that fun?
Sure.
Very adulting.
Yeah.
Okay. Good for you.
Found a good mattress.
Good for you.
But
it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm dreading the ending of summer. The lake's a little colder, and I really don't want to put on real clothes ever again because I've lived in pretty much shorts or a swimsuit for the last 3 or 4 months.
I'm retraining myself to put on a watch. I realized I haven't worn a watch in 6 months. It's so weird. But you're right. Looking into fall, I'm looking at wearing pants again, and
yeah, I'm I don't like this.
No, yeah, it's been a definitely different environment.
Yeah, long day at work, jump in the lake.
Yep. Mostly because your long day at work, you're already in your swim shorts. You just jump right in.
Right,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
But not so much of an option in October.
Yeah, it was horrible. And then one of our good friends bought a boat, so that made it harder.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I've been babysitting the boat at the house all day, which is or a few days, which is great.
Yeah, sucks.
Yeah. But it's been good stuff. I got the Porsche, and we went for a drive, ran the whole time and back.
Yeah. So, that's actually a really good transition into something that we joked about last week. And I'm like, I don't know how long we can hold this secret. And I forgot that we actually did know how long we could hold this secret, and we could have probably said something.
Yeah, it was day of it came out. So if you haven't seen it yet, the Avants Magazine is out. And this is a collectible magazine, not a throw it in the trash magazine.
This is, I put it in the same level as Road Rat. And all that, which, by the way, there's another 5th episode of that coming out real soon, too. But we've known about it for a while.
Yeah, we're part of it.
We're, as you know, is our partnership with Avants, who, by the way, congratulations, they're celebrating 2 years now.
Yep.
So we actually decided to, Dan, you got your Porsche back, and if you haven't followed up on what's going on with Dan's Porsche, we've talked about it in past episodes, but there's been some...
The same issue likes to rear its ugly head, and it's not a very clear one. So
no.
Anyway... New computers later and sensors and everything else. Hopefully it's fine, but this is not one of those easy this is broken fixes. So it's been driving me insane.
So Avants did a release, basically, an in-person release at Griot's this weekend, and Dan and I, as much as we've been partners with Avants for a long time, but there are times when we sometimes forget to go to events. We should be there, and we want to be there, but life gets in the way.
Yeah.
And this one was too good to pass up, especially the fact that we wanted to go to Griot's.
Yeah.
We needed product. Adam was going to be there, and we wanted to support him. So,
yeah. So we drove down there, and the magazine is fantastic. It's got a couple of articles that we helped with. Actually, one of them is my most popular drive. The stress reliever is covered in pretty good detail with all new photos. The photos are fantastic from that, and
I really like the way, and I know he struggled with this. I really like the way he illustrated the route, the fact of having the map on the side and the sections. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is so much in this magazine. If you're an Avants member, it will be coming to you, I believe. I believe everybody's getting a copy.
Yeah, I think a lot of people already got it.
Yeah.
It did make the rounds. It's been sent out. There's an article about Peter Gleason, a previous guest of ours. Kiki Wolfkill. They actually they used our interview with Kiki and the photo set that, of course, Carl took. And Carl is the photo editor of this magazine. So you're going to see a lot of his amazing photos in here.
His career's just taken off since he met us.
That's true, yeah. Photography director Carl Noakes. Aw.
I don't know how to explain this, but the back, the art section...
Yes, is super cool.
I'm just going to tell you, once you get it, you'll understand what I'm saying, but it's a really cool visual Northwestern kind of thing. So
yeah, I believe they used John's M3 for that as well. So.
Well, yeah, it's a bunch of people's. John's M3. There's the Mercedes, the Volvo. Yeah. So, and there's a really cool article on the Honda Trail 70.
Yeah, it's really great articles all over there. So a bunch of alphas in this one. There's kind of a theme. It's an alpha theme for the most part in this one. And Porsche and alpha, of course.
And now that people know about it, wait till you see the next issue.
Yes,
we actually helped with some of the stuff on that one too, which is I'm really excited to be. I'm really excited to see the photos of that. That's going to be a lot of fun. But another reason we were down at Griot's is, as many of you know, we didn't do our CMONT rally this year,
Yeah, we could have called this one that.
Yeah, we probably could have, yeah. So we've been beating on our heads to kind of do this, and we actually threw kind of a rally together with the last month that we're going to be leaving on the day this comes out.
Yes,
so
Friday morning we leave for a 3-night, 4-day rally. It'll be to Bend, and then McCall, and then Missoula. And
all highway, taking the highways.
Then. Oh yeah, just straight highway. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no fun.
Nope, speed limit all the way.
Yep,
highways,
cruise control.
Absolutely,
stuck behind semis.
Absolutely, rock chips everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. No, so we found, of course, as usual, the most back ways to get everywhere.
You did. Let's be honest. You did. Okay. Yes. Back road Dan.
Yeah, I've got some amazing routes to drive through there. Of course, you guys can look forward to that after the rally. I will post that as its own drive on Dan's Drives.
Yeah.
Which, if you go to Dan's Drives, will redirect to Rain City Supercars. So,
yeah, I mean, a lot of people have asked that, and the fact that Dan's Drives and Rain City were kind of separate, but now we're going to kind of be combining them in together, and you'll be able to find it under that. But this will be a route that we'll be able to kind of. Obviously, we'll share photos and things like that.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of photos. Pay attention to our Instagram. It's going to blow up over the next few days.
We're going to be huge.
Yeah, look for the hashtag RCS Rally. That'll be the one everybody will be using on the trip. So all of our members, I think we have 12 cars, 11 or 12 cars.
Yeah, I think 12. And while we're talking about cars and things like that, and we were one of our the sponsors we didn't know it was going to be a sponsor, but they kind of stepped up.
Yeah, we have to have a special, huge shout-out to Griot's here, especially Guy Griot's. So we have a good relationship with him. We've had them on the show. Been a fan of Griot's since if you heard that episode, we've both been fans since we were kids, literally. I remember the Griot's catalog was like a Bible when I was a teenager, and the store.
They're collectible now.
Yeah, exactly. So we go down there fully intent on buying product with our Avants discount and going down there. And then we happened to be talking to Guy and said, hey, we're doing a rally. And so they stepped up and immediately they're like, yeah, you got to use our products. Here you go. Helped us out.
They love sponsoring anything automotive.
Yeah.
They
give back.
They're very good at giving back and making sure the community knows that they're supported by Griot's, which I think is really important.
We are. And we didn't just go to Griot's because, well, how should I say this?
We went for Adam.
Yeah, we went for Adam for the Avants launch event, but it's we have our pick. We can go to Amazon and order whoever X band product, but we actually use Griot's. We like their products, and so they're not an official sponsor of the show, but it was really cool of them. And we oh man, the smell of those products. I love using them in the garage because the garage smells so good after I shine the car or whatever. Let me just lick the paint.
If you haven't been down to the Griot's flagship store, if you're a car guy in the Pacific Northwest and you haven't been down, you're like, oh, it's in Tacoma. You need to go. It is an experience in itself because, I don't know how to explain it. It's car guy heaven in the fact that they have detail bays where they do seminars and things like that. The store is set up incredible, and then they have a car display, which is not the Griot's cars. It's people's cars who are donated. We've had friends that have kept cars there. Yeah. It's kind of a neat place, but it's a really fun experience. It's really easy to get to. It's probably 7 or 8 blocks off of I-5.
Yeah, and I'm over here by Issaquah, 30-minute drive, easy 30-minute drive. So
it's a perfect Saturday morning drive.
It was.
It really was.
Definitely took the wrong car for that because we left fully. It was full from the frunk to the rear seats down.
We knew what we wanted. We kind of came up with some of the ideas when we were down there. We're like, we're going to do this, and guys like, okay, we're going to take care of you. They
helped us out big time. So
and I think they're obviously, and you'll notice in the magazine, there's a big Griot's ad. They're a big sponsor of Avants as well.
Yeah. And I got to give a shout out to Troy Gorilla Mad.
Yeah.
He is doing our decals this year, not quite as over the top as we have been before, because like I said, this rally was, in spite of us. Every attempt to keep it smaller ended up being just as big as last year. Yep. So that didn't quite work out the way I expected it to, but I'm happy the way it worked out. And so we have some great designs this year, thanks to Jeremy Salvo Designs, who was on.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to it. And I do want to say this for future. We had intended on doing it this year with before the world went. But next year with CMONT and some other, we're going to be putting on some other rallies that we are going to be really opening them up more to the community.
Yeah.
So
different direction. So you guys pay attention to that. And a lot of people ask us every year, hey, how can I get an invite to these rallies? And it's intentionally kept very small just because of the routes I tend to drive can be hazardous to the wrong person. And we have had that before.
And we have to trust you.
Yeah. I mean, it's just there's a high risk of people being reckless and flying off the road and not coming back from these rallies. And so, we have legal involved now and all that, but there's a learning curve to rallies.
Yeah, we accidentally started rallies to the point where we now need a legal counsel. Great.
Yeah. So, there's definitely
wonderful problems to have.
Definitely risks involved with running a rally. For those of you thinking about it, I would highly recommend you reach out to somebody who does this, or us if you want.
Reach out to us.
And we'll tell you what you guys need to be aware of, because this is not something you'd be like, hey, my buddy's not going to run a rally. Yeah, we started that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to get some legal aid involved. Maybe talk to law enforcement, things like that. But I'd be happy to show you guys how to run a rally from our point of view, how to keep it small, keep it relevant, and people having a good time without you worrying about being sued.
I don't know when and I don't know how, but there will eventually be an RCS rally to Wyoming.
Yes, for sure.
I'm going to do whatever I can to spend more time in Wyoming. So whatever it takes. But I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's kind of to get out of the house and drive a little bit and really kind of get together with some friends, socially, at distance.
Right, yeah. And rallies are a great way to do that. But as you guys have probably picked up on, this is sort of goes hand in hand with our rebranding, is because the shift from Rain City Supercars to RCS opens us up to different conversations. Obviously, we've always said we're a car show about people. But, I mean, like, our Combat Flip-Flops episode was really fun. People really liked that one.
So much fun.
That was a great episode. Everybody liked that episode. We got a ton of positive feedback on it. But for us, it's a bit of a risk in a way,
I want to interject something right there on that point, and I forgot to talk to you about this. But comment on this issue if you would like to hear, or if you would like to hear us release some of the not fit for podcast or behind the scenes of podcasts, because there's a lot of really fun conversations that happen.
Yeah, so we were thinking about live streaming, but it's like there's definitely some colorful conversation.
But if there's interest in that, like I said, it's not
let us know.
It's not vulgar. It's just there's some really fun conversations that happen that kind of lead into us hitting the record button. So if you'd like to hear that, it's something we can start to put together. But
yeah, we've toyed around the idea with Patreon, things like that, because it's a lot of work. That's the hard part. The hardest part about all of this is managing the amount of work the podcast and RCS is taking versus having a regular job. And it's two full-time jobs, and it's not easy, but it's fun, and we love doing it. It's
fun, we say, as we rock it back and forth, in our thumbs. But
yeah, the next rally we'll have coming up will be January, February-ish. We're going to be doing a winter rally. I'm doing some shifting to, as I've talked to you guys at length, we'll be getting some off-road stuff, getting a Raptor coming soon. Really looking forward to outfitting that and taking some more time off-road.
And since that's somewhat public knowledge now, we are going to be taking that Raptor build and publicizing it. It's going to be
everything will be video, blog posts, the whole nine. Like I said, we're not trying to create a YouTube channel and all that, but I love watching people do builds. And why they do it, and all the errors we make. It'll be fun.
Yeah, you'll watch us skin our knuckles and things like that. It'll be fun.
And then be shouting at your screen, why would you do that way?
Yeah, just like we do with shouting at videos, YouTube videos, things like that. Yeah. So
struggle to find the right word while you're yelling it at your screen. Yeah. Somebody says the wrong thing. That never happens.
Nope.
Yeah. So this Friday, when this drops, by the time you guys wake up, and most of you wake up,
we'll be gone.
We'll be gone. Yes, we will be on the road and taking lots of photos and having a lot of fun, and we will have a lot of video and things like this for you guys to tune in on. I think you guys will have a fun time listening, and hopefully you will, because we'll have a fun time. And
let's take our first break.
All right, we'll be right back.
We spend an average of 8 hours and 41 minutes a day facing screens. Laptops, smartphones, tablets, even digital refrigerators. But what are we really connected to? Isn't it time you connected to something greater? Sometimes the best way to connect is to disconnect. This moment of escape was created by Hagerty for people who love cars.
And RCS is back. So what's our Carter Super tip of the day, Dan?
For this week's Carter Subaru tip of the day, we got another good recommendation from our previous guest, actually. Nathan Muntz sent us a message.
Thank you, Nathan. This is the first tech tip of something that somebody has brought up to us that I truly knew nothing. I'd never heard of this before.
Really?
Absolutely. No.
So, we're going to talk about CAGS, which is a really, really annoying, but I have to admit, ingenious design. And there's two sides of this story. It's a terrible, terrible thing to have in your car. You can eliminate it really quickly. But let's get into it. So it's called computer-aided gear selection, or CAGS. And GM actually brought it out in the Corvette back in the late 80s. And the reason it exists is because of a really stupid thing called gas guzzler new car tax.
Yeah.
And to get around that, you have to hit a certain EPA requirement for mileage. And if you don't, you get a giant gas guzzler tax on top of the price of your car. Well, Chevy was the first one to get hit with it with the Corvette. So what it does is it forces you under a certain set of conditions. I'm going to go through those. You're in first gear. You're at 35% throttle or less. You're between 15 and 21 miles per hour. And your engine coolant temperature is greater than 171 degrees Fahrenheit or 77 degrees Celsius to the rest of the world. Yeah, so what this does is it forces you to shift from first to fourth.
Does it just lock second and third out?
It manually activates a solenoid that locks second and third out, and it forces that downshift. This is a Tremec-specific thing, so Tremec transmission cars, so including the Viper, things like that, from first to fourth. So it makes it almost a natural shift, but if you decide that, so like just that quick little, instead of straight down to second, it just kind of guides you into fourth.
Dan and I are both air shifting right now.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So, and so what it does is if you're trying to prove your EPA numbers, you're driving like nobody ever drives that car in your life. I mean, nobody who owns one of these cars drives like this, so you just get this annoying light on your dash. But if you want to create really good EPA numbers, you can drive this car like nobody's ever going to ever drive one and get those mileage numbers up and fake the EPA report.
That's only in the city, though, right?
I don't know. I think it affects both, really. It's the overall mileage of the vehicle.
But the speeds say...
Yeah. But so you have to be really light on the throttle. And so...
I feel like this is one of those things that your salesman could accidentally forget to tell you real easily.
Yeah.
And you're driving around town like, when I'm driving, I don't have second and third gear.
Oh, yeah. I remember the first time I bought a C6 Corvette. It had this, of course, or it has a factory, but it said CAGS Eliminator. And I was like, what's a CAGS eliminator? So that's how I learned about it, because I didn't know what it was just in the app.
How to get rid of those hags. I mean, CAGS.
Yeah. And so, one, I feel like this is sort of like an early version of Dieselgate in a weird way, where it's like, obviously nobody does this.
Well, but this is along the lines of the same thing of like the cylinder shutdowns, like on freeways, like when you're doing a certain.
Yeah, but that actually serves a function. I actually really loved a cylinder shutdown on my Z06 because, like, on those long drives I took, I could throw it in seventh, cruise.
That helped. That came from the gas guzzler stuff too.
Yeah. Cadillac actually, the 468 engine, which was a terrible design.
Yeah.
But and so you eliminate these things, and they make them super easy to eliminate. You literally you can build a resistor into a quick connector for about $7, or you can buy one pre-made from any number of suppliers online for about $20. And I actually did this I got my C7 Z06, brought it home, did this like first day, because it's just super annoying. It's just immediately.
Is that a warranty voiding kind of thing?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No. In fact, you can even technically just unplug it, but the light will still come up on the dash.
Yeah.
But you put the resistor in so that it thinks it's still there. Anyway, it's a really, I don't know. I like it because it saves you the gas guzzler tax by having that, and it allows more cars to get made. I hate it because it's just like, it's a lie.
Yeah.
Nobody drives this way. Everybody eliminates it. And it's like, you do not buy a 650 horsepower Corvette to save gas. You're not, unless you are a complete idiot.
But when you look at the eliminating factors of when it kicks on, as far as the temperature of the engine,
car,
and the miles per hour and throttle positioning, those are pretty specific things. Like that, to me, that says like I've already driven the car. Like I went to the store. The car's warm when I get back in, so it's up, and then I'm just slowly coming out of the parking lot.
Yeah, and here's the thing: if you change your mind real quick, you're like, "Oh, there's a vehicle coming suddenly."
Yeah,
it's like, and that kicks in. All of a sudden, you've got no power, or it forces you into fourth.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And the worst part of it all is this is literally made so that when they do the EPA testing, they can provide numbers that nobody will ever get. They basically falsify numbers, in my opinion.
This is an open book test. Like, you're openly cheating.
Yeah, you're openly cheating. You're saying, like, hey, here's how we get around this gas guzzler tax, because I have an economy Corvette Viper, whatever, right? So it's like under an explicit set of conditions that no one will ever drive in, this is going to work great.
I mean, I guess they could look at you and be like, hey, if you don't want this, we won't sell it to you, and we'll just charge you the gas guzzler tax.
Yeah. So anyway, if you have a car with a Tremec transmission, which is basically Pontiac G8 GXPs, Corvettes, Camaros, Vipers, I think even some Mustangs. You can eliminate this for next to no cash at all. Like I said, $7 if you make your own. There's a parts list. You can look up, just look up for CAGS Eliminator, and there will literally be like step-by-step instructions on jalopnik and anything you can think of.
I don't think I want to make my own, just because about the time you do it wrong and all of a sudden you lock out like most of the gears or something.
No, it doesn't do that. See, it just gives you, it just makes it still work.
Sure.
It gives you an error, but I did, like I said, I did it at home with no tools. It's literally unplug, replug in about a minute. Once you know what you're looking at, it's just like you look under the car, you're like, oh yeah, that's it. Like the hardest part is like getting under the car to do it. Putting it in is like unplug, replug, done.
Interesting.
So that's what CAGS is. If you've never heard of that, if you've got a CTSV with a manual, I envy you, and you should do this. But or the other workaround to doing this is you just drive your car like you actually drive it, and you slam the gas to go everywhere, because that's why you bought a performance vehicle with a manual.
Yeah.
So, but interesting thing. Kind of cool for saving the gas guzzler tax, because that's, $5-10 grand on some cars. But the EPA just needs to pull its head out of its ass and realize that this is stupid.
I can't believe that of all the government bureaucracy that happens. I can't believe they don't look at this and be like, we see what you're doing. That doesn't count. Like you don't get the award. Like I don't want to pay a gas guzzler tax. Oh,
more government.
That's not what I meant. I just like
because those regulations help a lot.
Okay, you make a good point. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like this seems like an easy problem to fix for the government. Like not that. Why am I being pro-government? What the? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I apologize.
You're fired.
Yeah. Exactly. Wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. I get it. Okay. Fine.
Anyway, that's our Carter Super Tip of the day. That is what CAGS is. That is why, in my opinion, and mine alone, I think it's one of the dumbest things ever. But there it is. Now you know. I got to but clever for GM.
Yeah.
So, clever for GM. All right.
Grandpa, what do you call this thing again?
It's a 66 Ford Bronco.
I think you got ripped off.
Why is that, honey?
It's got no Wi-Fi, no USB port, no Bluetooth.
Exactly. I guess we'll just have to talk.
Sometimes the best way to connect is to disconnect.
Is that the window button?
It's called a window crank.
Cool. The faster I move it, the faster it goes down.
This moment of escape was created by Haggerty.
Being old is kind of cool, Grandpa.
Works for me.
For people who love cars.
And we're back.
We're back.
A little hangry.
A little, yeah. This is going to be quick. We're hangry. Like we said, we're going to be, when we get back from the rally, there'll be lots of great stories. We've got a really great guest coming in that we'll kind of reveal then. But it's going to be fun. Again, to kind of recap, if you're looking to do your own rally, reach out to us. We'll talk to, we're always looking for ideas, and and that's how we started this stuff, is spitballing it. So
yeah. Learn from our many, many mistakes.
Yeah, we're glad.
We're not experts, but we'll tell you what we know so far.
We've literally published them, so you can go back and hear them. So yeah.
Speaking of rallies coming up, that's the next thing for Avants. They got a drive coming up. I think it's the 26th. Yeah, it's details are to be announced. But if you haven't done an Avants drive, do one. They're awesome. That's going to be a good time.
If you're not an Avants member, join Avants.
Yeah, start with that.
Yeah.
I don't want to close out too quickly because there's some other cool stuff coming up. Obviously, follow our Instagram. Check us out on Facebook. Send us messages. We're going to be way, way, way more active for this rally coming up, and we're going to have some really cool content. We'll try and do some stuff from the road, like live recordings, not like podcasts from the road that never really turns out.
Maybe live videos or a live feed, or if we find a nice closed road that we're driving on, maybe we'll film some of it or something. It'll be fun.
Oh, yeah. We do have a couple of those closed roads coming up. Yeah.
That's
also,
how cool we are.
You know what I'd love to know is where other people's favorite places to go around. I don't want to say the Seattle area. I want to say, like, what's your favorite northeastern Washington spot in the middle of nowhere that I don't know about? What about northern Idaho or Montana?
What spots don't you know about? In fact, I was laughing because my parents went and did a little vacation, and I was on the phone with them, and I'm like, where are you? My mom's like, I don't know where we're at. And I hear my dad in the background going, Dan would know.
No, I mean, like, every time I plan one of our rallies, I go through, and I drive myself insane, probably as much as I drive Nick insane. But I'm like, this is the final one. 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 And then I go through, and I'm like, that road's closed.
Yeah, but you also, I don't think they understand that and it doesn't drive me nuts. I think it's wonderful. Dan will get on Google Maps and zoom in and look at the road conditions to see if it's dirt. Like, many roads that we've been on, we thought we're going to go on that road, and all of a sudden we realize, oh, it turns into dirt here, which we're fine with, but Davis would die. There's a lot of planning to it in the fact, I mean, Google Maps help in the fact that you can drop the little guy on there and actually kind of look around sometimes and see,
Well, and what I did for this one, I found a new road, which I'm really, really excited about. Like I said, you guys will see it on the drive, but there's a back way between Mount St. Helens and Mount Adams, and I've always looked at it as a forest road. And so, it is a forest road. It doesn't have a name. It's just NF something. And so sure enough, I go to YouTube and I start typing it in. Type in the forest road name, type in the forest road name. Sure enough, what did I find? Some guy on a motorcycle and a sport bike hauling ass down this road. And I'm like, oh, do I need to speed this up? Nope, he's doing triple digits. Cool. Nope. So, cool for me because I get to view his video. Thank God he didn't hit a deer. But... And in those areas, you really need to. So it's fun to go fast, but it's not when you hit deer.
It's never fun when you hit deer.
No, never fun when you hit a deer. So, but either way, it was awesome to find this road and be like, oh man, I can't wait to drive this. And then I find more, and I'm like, sure enough, it's a popular motorcycle route. And so these guys, and that's great because motorcycle routes are great because those guys are really sensitive to road conditions.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever been unsettled in like mid-turn when your knee is down, there is no bigger butt pucker factor I've ever had on a machine in my life than having like the rear end slide out from underneath me and then catch with my knee down in a corner. So, yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah. After that, you typically just pull over and like wait for your heart to come down because you don't know if you're still alive.
Empty your pants.
Yeah, empty your pants moment. So
I was attached to the bicycle by my feet, my hands, and my butt.
Yeah. You're like,
yep, pretty much.
Yeah. So
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So.
Great stories, great times, good friends. And of course, if you want some more of that, dip into Avants. Check out the latest magazine. Like you said, this is I've read it cover to cover a couple times now. And it's just really good writing, really great photography, and just fun times. It was nostalgic in a way because I know a lot of these people. I know a lot of these roads. I'm like, oh, I got to get this guy on the show.
That's the coolest thing. Like, Road Rat is my favorite magazine in the world. But reading this and being able to be like, I know that guy. And then you turn the page to the next article and go, like, I know that guy. I know that car. I know that road. It's a really cool connection. So.
Yeah, there's a fantastic, starts on page 73 with Peter Gleason. And one of our, I would say that was a big turning point for our show because that was like the shining moment of, those are the kind of guests I want to connect with more. And you can't match Peter. Everybody who knows Peter will tell you what a incredible man he is.
Yeah, once he realized what degenerates we were, he was glad to come on our show.
But he's one of those guys, I'm going to have a quick conversation with Peter. 3 hours later.
I have never learned so much. Like, we don't make fun of Peter, but you're going to be Peter someday because the amount of knowledge that comes out of Peter is the amount of knowledge that comes out of you.
That is high praise.
I think so.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And I love this is not tooting my own horn because it's the article that I love. It's the stress reliever, the article they wrote about the drive, the stress reliever.
You should be. That's your route.
I'm flattered, but like the story that Evan Griffey did and the photos that Alex took are just fantastic. And I hope people read it. And our show isn't so local anymore, but I hope the local listeners read the article and see it and go drive it.
I hope people come up here to drive it.
Yeah, I do. It's a fantastic drive, and I love getting other people's experiences from it. When they go on one of my drives and they tell me things I didn't know about it. They go to a place a diner off the side of the road I haven't stopped at before. And I grew up my entire life up there. But every time somebody does this drive, I see a picture from it when they do photos of something I've never seen before.
We should do it.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We haven't done, we should go out and do it, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. There's a couple things where like, oh, I know that bridge. That's one of the things I tell everybody.
Everybody stops on the bridge.
I say it in the drive, stop on the bridge, take some photos. There's not a lot of traffic, but it's just such cool stuff. Can't say enough praise for Avants for the magazine. It really, really is cool.
Yeah.
So
I would be honest, I was a little skeptical at first. I'm like, it's in a digital age, but they blew it out of the water.
Yep.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
And there's really some really good driving tips in there too. Speaking of which.
Don't crash.
Yeah. No, and then there's like our friends at Salish.
Anyway,
I could talk about it forever.
Oh, there's so many friends in there. Yeah, definitely. So, well, I think that wraps it up for this crazy episode of Rain City Supercars. As always, I'm Nick.
I'm Dan, and don't just get there. Enjoy the drive.